Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to this week's Midweek 180. Now, it's been 2 weeks since I've done one of these. Apologies for that. Last week I was on my holidays and didn't put a video out. I was enjoying the sunshine in Mallorca. The week before that, I had an embargoed video drop on a Wednesday, so didn't put out a Midweek 180. But if you've not seen one of these before, this is my midweek update where I bring you my news, views, and information about upcoming reviews, all filmed in one take. Let's get the housekeeping out the way before we get into the meat of the video. So the last leader of the pack was Francois G. Well done, mate. Joined in the Magnificent Seven by Michael Kember, Kevin DG7, Rod Matheson, HQB Productions, Mick Blizzard, and Matthew LaBerge. So whoever was the first comment this week, you'll be my leader of the pack next week, and the first 7 comments will be in my Magnificent 7. So first up, Formula One is back after its little mini break, back to Austin, Texas. I always enjoy the races from Austin, Texas. That track just promotes such good racing. I think there's a couple of things. Firstly, it's wide enough in lots of parts and very cleverly designed, so you often get lots of side-by-side racing, cars going into corners. And then just, especially the sweeping bends, you just see the cars at their maximum level of attack through the corners, the changes of direction. So it's a really spectacular track to watch the racing. We had a sprint race and a full race. The sprint race was disappointing. Lando, for me, just needs to be more aggressive going into corners, and just, I think if he is to take the fight to Max, he needs to up his levels of aggression and reduce his levels of if you like, the self-critical nature he has. The race itself on Sunday was just brilliant racing. Obviously, massive congratulations to Ferrari, and they were out the front. Didn't really see them very much on the coverage. But I'm going to do something I don't do very often. I'm actually going to give some compliments to Max Verstappen. It's going to pain me to do it, but the battle he had with Norris for, I don't know, 5, nearly 10 laps probably, was really fair racing. He positioned his car brilliantly, and they had an amazing ding-dong battle. I know Norris got past him and then got the 5-second penalty for overtaking off track and gaining an advantage. But that racing, that's what we want to see. We want to see the 2 championship contenders battling against each other. Honestly, I think Norris has got his work cut out for him. I think a weekend where Verstappen has a DNF would help. And obviously, it's important that Norris doesn't have any DNFs. But the Ferraris are looking fast as well. So in terms of the Constructors' Championship, I think that's going to be a really interesting battle. Just what we want as Formula One fans all the way to the last race of the season, hopefully. Now, what I want to talk about mainly in this video is the hypercar holy trinity. Well, actually, it's the dynamic duo, because we've only got 2 of them. So in the last couple of weeks since I've been away, McLaren and Ferrari have released the latest hypercar from their stable. I want to talk about the McLaren W1 first of all. Now, clearly the lineage is McLaren F1, P1, and then W1. So it's the latest in the Ultimate Series. And there's lots of really interesting things. I know these cars in one respect are completely ridiculous, because none of us are ever going to be able to afford to buy one. Probably will never see one, let alone sit in one or go in one. But they are always the pinnacle of technology. And if you think about the previous holy trinity of the P1, the LaFerrari, and the 918 Spider, they inspired lots of trickle-down technology into other supercars and performance cars. You know, a lot of modern day performance Porsches have 918 carbon bucket seats in them, for example. So the W1, it is a brand new car, certainly the carbon tub, so the monocell 2 that we see in the Super Series cars and in the P1, that's been replaced now by a brand new carbon tub. It has a brand new3 engine, 4-litre twin turbo. There's some 915 horsepower just from the internal combustion engine, and then 342 bhp from the EV hybrid system. So that's 1,257 bhp. So it's obviously going to be ballistically quick. They're only making 399 of them, and they're going to be from £2 million. I think it's a striking looking car. I love the rear wing that drops out the back of the car in the different modes. I don't think it's as pretty as the P1, but then that is a pretty car. But it just looks like a mega car. But what I find really interesting is, I guess, the levels of criticism between the W1 and then the next week, Ferrari released the F80. And it's that I want to focus on, because there's so many people losing their mind over that car not having a V12. Now, just because the LaFerrari had a V12 doesn't mean to say that the F80 had to have one. You know, the F40 had a V8, the F50 had a V10. It doesn't have to be a big capacity engine. And for me, the thing that makes that car really special, and it really does, I'm a big fan, I like it a lot, is Ferraris have always had a road to race strategy, you know, race on a Sunday, drive on a Monday kind of thing. You look all the way back to things like 250 GTOs, and there's plenty of cars that have been designed for track and then got onto the road. And what Ferrari have at the moment is a high-level racing program in both Formula One and in hypercar class. And those cars have hybrid V6 engines in them. And therefore, for me, it makes complete sense that the F80, the latest of their amazing hypercars, has an engine that is relevant to their racing program. So yes, you could have had a V12 in then, but I guess you got the 12 Cilindri for that. I think I said that right. I'm going to say it again in a moment. So I think it looks really, really very impressive. There's a huge amount of tech. This isn't a review of that car. It's me giving my opinion on it, really. There are plenty of amazing reviews of the car. It's an aggressive styling. It's not as beautiful as a LaFerrari or as maybe as you know, if you look back at the F40, it was such a stunning, timeless design. I don't think we'd ever call the F80 that, but it's certainly an aggressive design. I love that black visor that they've kind of taken the styling, I guess, harking back to the Daytona, but the 12 Cilindri has that as well. I like that a lot. I like the rear wing at the back, which is very un-Ferrari to have a rear wing. I think the SF90XX is the first Ferrari road car since the F50 to have a rear wing. So we see that on the F80 as well. Now they're making 799 of those, and they're going to be from £3 million. So a bargain. It makes the W1 look like a complete bargain. So I'd love to know what you think of the new Ferrari F80. The last new car that's also come out, it's been a glut of new cars coming out, is the Porsche 992.2 GT3 and GT3 Touring. And again, there's loads of videos dropped this week on that. And that looks like an amazing bit of kit. My main worry for that, though, is especially the GT3 Touring, is if I just spent a lot of money buying a 911 ST, I'd be a bit miffed, really, because it's got a short throw manual gearbox, it's lightened, it's got lots of things that make that. There's lots of handover bits from the ST. I think it's even got the same wheels as the ST. And will that make the ST less special? I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I think it looks like an incredible car, that's for sure. But I don't know. For Porsche have this issue sometimes where they bring out these amazing cars. They're not as bad as McLaren at doing it, by the way. But I don't know if I you know, what will that do to ST values? I think it will probably, because at the moment the ST is selling overs. I think that will probably pair them or ping the market back a little bit. But it certainly looks like an incredible car, and it amazes me every time Porsche do it, how they take a car that, you know, when the 992 GT3 came out, everyone said, that's the perfect car, how do you improve on greatness? And then they brought out the .2 version, and it's even better. I don't know. I mean, what the hell's the GT3 RS going to be like? I've got absolutely no idea. But yeah, so I cannot wait to get my hands on that one. And then finally, the Friday video at 6 is carrying on a Porsche theme. The press car I've got this week is I'm bound to say this in the wrong order. It's the Porsche Cayenne Coupe Turbo E-Hybrid with GT pack. Now, I think somewhere if you mix all of those words up, you'll get them in the right order. But it's basically a Turbo E-Hybrid Cayenne Coupe, beautiful looking thing. But we can't get the Turbo GT version of the Cayenne Coupe in the UK. So what you can do is buy the E-Hybrid Turbo and then put a GT pack on it. So it's got the close together twin exhaust at the back. It's got a wing above the rear glass. It's an amazing thing. It's got 739 horsepower, 950 Newton meters of torque. And today I've just driven it all the way over Salisbury Plain to Bristol and back. and it has been a fantastic day today. It's quite late now, it's dark outside, but it's been a fantastic day today. What I now need to do is get the footage off my cameras and start editing, getting that video ready for Friday, because I've got a really busy week this week. Stay tuned to the garage videos. There's a huge announcement coming on the garage shortly. Very exciting. The next thing to happen in the garage is going to be lighting. That's fitted this week, so I'm filming that. That should be coming to the channel quite soon. But we've had a bit of a problem with the garage, and I've got to do a video on it because it's a big one. But you need to stay tuned for that. But lots of love coming in for the garage. Anyway, I'm waffling. Let me know what you think of the W1 and the F80. I'd love to know. I mean, obviously, we're now eagerly awaiting to see what Porsche do to reform the Holy Trinity 2024-25. But I'd love to know what you think. I'm a big fan of both. I think the Ferrari F80 is just everything you want from a hypercar, really. Apart from the fact some people don't like the fact it's got a V6. Get over it. Anyway. If you enjoyed that, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And I'll see you on the next film, which is this Friday at 6 p.m. for the Porsche Cayenne Turbo E-Hybrid Coupe with GT pack. See, I think I had those in a different order. Anyway, it'll be a good film. I'll see you on that one, guys. You take care. Drive safe.